All right, so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a live Q&A with some of my students. They recently just finished going through the plug and play agency course. They learned all the knowledge in order to get their, agency going. They're ready to go out and start prospecting, but they wanted to hop on a call with me because they had some questions. And I know they asked a lot of great questions that I know you are probably wondering, thinking the same to yourself as well, from how to prospect, how to get clients, how to keep them as clients, client retention. Is SMA oversaturated? What if you're outside the country? Should you go overseas? Should you only target clients that are in the States? So we're gonna be going through all of that in this video. I thought my students asked a lot of great questions. So let's jump into the Q&A call.
certain 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 aspects of the business that we haven't really thought about in terms of like pricing.
Okay.
We know that you initially charged $1,500 for your consultation fee, but we weren't sure if possibly if we should charge more or less for certain clients, like price discrimination for certain clients, or should we charge less because we're trying to get our first client. So we wanted some pointers on that.
Okay. So as far as like pricing goes, at the end of the day, it depends on how much value you're bringing to the client. So for example, like if you have like a big client that if you bring in one new customer, for example, like a personal injury lawyer, right? And you bring them like a new accident case, that new accident case could be worth, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and up, right? So you guys can charge more. But let's say you work with like a smaller business type, like for example, what's like a local business around here? So for example, like a house cleaning company. I think we were just one of my sales guys just got off a call with a house cleaning niche, right? They're not going to make as much money, nor do they have as much money for the ad budget. Then you're not going to be able to charge $2,000 for your management fees, right? So with me, like I like to start at about $1,000, $1,000, 1,500 is like how much I charge on average. And then I have like smaller clients where they're like little mobile detailing, like they drive around and they clean people's cars for like $100 or whatever. And those guys, like I've reduced my pricing down to as little as like $550, because it's so easy to just set it up, get it going and things like that. So at the end of the day, yeah, it really depends on what type of clients you guys are going to bring on. And then you can always negotiate pricing too, because some people might have just started their business, so they don't have as much money. So you can work with that and like, okay, hey, we're willing to reduce our prices to help you get going, just because we know that we can help you out. And if you work with a business who's established, that they got money, they're willing to spend, and they tell you that, hey, we're currently already spending, $10,000 on ads, then that, hey, this is a bigger fish. I can probably charge a little bit more. So over the sales call, that's where, over the sales calls, you're asking these probing questions and getting to know the business owner, and where they're currently at in their business. Do you know what type of clients you guys are going to be looking to work with?
Yeah, the VCL we built was for law firms, so solicitors. But it was very broad. We don't have like a niche in law. It was just like from immigration to DUI.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine, because at the end of the day, it works. The system, it works all the same. So maybe in the presentation, you can even highlight, this works for all law firms, and you can show like screenshots, like, hey, it doesn't matter, you search on Google, criminal lawyer is still going to pop up. You search up immigration lawyer, you're still going to be right here. So it still works the same way. But with lawyers, on average, you can charge $1,500 a month easily. And then if they're like a little bit newer, they're a new solo lawyer, just started the law firm, I've done $1,000. My lowest that I've ever charged, and actually he got grandfathered in. This one, when I first started my agency, I was just trying to get clients on. I charged this dude, and he's still a client with me today, which is cool. He's getting charged only $500, and he got grandfathered in. But my next client, She was new, so I charged her $750, but on average, $1,000 to $1,500, you should be good to go.
100%. So
Oh, and also, sorry, I like to also mention that. So I charge my base price, which is $1,500 a month, right? But I tell them that once they start spending $10,000 in ads or more, then my management fee turns into a percentage of that. So I tell them 20% of 10,000 or more. I'll like negotiate. Sometimes I might do 15%, but on most of the times I'll tell 20%. They don't really have an issue with it. So 20% of your ad spend if you spend 10,000 or more.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you deal with conflict of interest? So you're working with two firms that are in the same area, and you have to advertise within that same area for those two firms who are competitive.
So with conflict of interest, you should avoid doing that, just because you guys technically are charging a premium price for Google PPC, whereas some marketing companies, they'll try to undercut you. They'll charge $500 or whatever. They don't really do a good job, and they'll take on as many clients as possible. So with your premium pricing, $1,500 to $2,500 a month, or $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month, how much ever you guys decide on to charge. You can also include that, hey, we are exclusive. We only work with one, type of lawyer in your area. So we don't work with your competitors like some other marketing companies do. All the leads that we send to you are going to be exclusively yours. So that's how you guys stand out from other marketing companies is, hey, we are exclusive. Everything that you get, it's your own system and you own everything. All the leads, you don't have to fight for it. They're not shared leads or anything like that. So conflict of interest, it wouldn't make sense for you to run ads for two criminal lawyers targeting the same area, because the results just not going to be as good and your client retention is just not going to be as high, right? So you only want to just get results for one person in each area. But you can always get one criminal lawyer, one personal injury, one family lawyer in the same area. That's totally fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 100%. So from that, would you recommend not including the price in a VCL then, since it might be different per client?
So including the price, I mean, that's entirely up to you if you want to include the price. If you include the price, people know it, they hop on the call, they already know what to expect, assuming that they watched through the whole video. But I mean, like when I'm trying to think here, like when I hop on sales calls with these lawyers, and even though they watch my VCL, I mean, you can always say, the pricing change, if anything, but yeah, you can always the base price, $1,500, right? And if they hop on a call with you, they already know the pricing. But if you don't want to include the price and you want to talk about pricing over the call, it's really a preference thing, up to you. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I think my third question was on case studies. Because we don't have any case studies, and we were going to ask if it's okay to use other law firms or other agencies' case studies, or for example, even the case studies that you included.
Yeah, so the case studies that I've included in the course, you guys are free to use those screenshots. Definitely you can use those. And then as far as like other agencies, what do you mean by using other agency case studies?
Well, yeah, I guess that would just be able to pretty much.
Oh, gotcha. Yes. So if you guys find like a white labeling company, like somebody that's willing to run your ads, then you can ask them for their case studies, and you are able to use those case studies because they are an extension of they're a part of your team essentially, right? Because they're running your ads. So you should be able to use their case studies. So for example, if like you were to use me as your white labeling company, like, hey, Jordan, whoever we sign on, you're going to run our ads for us, then yeah, you're able to use my case studies too. But whatever I include in the course, you can use that for yourself.
Yeah.
The only issue that comes up, of course, is the fact that the information is dollars in the case studies that you've given up, and we're working in London. So the only way we could
you can tell
is that
you can tell your clients that you had clients in the US, right? Yeah. You work with your clients, they're everywhere. So
Yeah.
But also on LinkedIn, wait, what was the question? 1 second. How do we get around not having qualifications on LinkedIn? That seems to be quite an important thing for these old people.
LinkedIn is more about building connections, building a relationship. My LinkedIn, when I first started, I didn't have any qualifications. I don't even think I still have that many qualifications on there either. So with LinkedIn, if you use the softwares, automation softwares, you build that relation, that connection. You send them case studies. You show them the VCL, right? So you're qualifying yourself by having them go through this system of yours, right? If they go through your VCL and they see that you're showing them step by step, this is exactly what you do, how you get them X results, then the qualifications you don't really need. It helps, but if you come off as credible and you're teaching them something, giving them something of value, then essentially that you'll qualify yourself through that.
Do you know how many people there are? Well, obviously you're not going to know a number, but I was going to ask if you know how busy the competitive scene is in terms of SMMA over here in London. You have people that have bought your course probably from London as well.
Yeah, I had a few people from London, but honestly, competition, man, I'm not worried about competition at all. Like as far as saturation, bro, like people are always gonna say it's saturated. There's too many competition. Honestly, bro, there's enough business for everybody, dude. It really is.
Yeah. That's good, man.
My next question would be, do you operate, well, in terms of America, do you operate in multiple states? But for us, would you consider operating in multiple countries? For example, like very close to London is France and Spain and these types of countries. Is it a good idea to take on clients overseas?
So most of my clients are in the States. I have a few outside the country, in Australia and things like that. But for you guys, I mean, you guys are digital, right? You guys are able to accept clients from anywhere. But so for you guys, I would start with, the UK area, all over the UK. So you can start there and then start expanding. But just remember that you guys aren't limited to anything, right? If you guys, there, like I said, there's money to be made everywhere, bro. So, start with the UK, start local, whatever. If you guys can relate to some of your prospects, whatever, that helps. Then it helps. But at the end of the day, you can accept clients from anywhere. So just remember that you guys aren't limited to anything.
100%. I think that one of the other
actually, I'd like to mention too, now that you did bring that up, I actually have a student. He's from Kenya, like in Africa. Terrible internet connection, no English accent. And he signed 4 personal injury clients for $2,000 a piece, and he white labels them to me. So it's pretty nuts, bro. So it doesn't matter where you're at, dude. He's in Kenya, Africa. He's probably like the richest kid on the block right now. I'm telling you guys, man, it's nuts. And I'm probably gonna bring him on for like an interview from my YouTube channel or something like that. I think it's just like a cool story.
White label content. How much do you charge for your white label?
So it ranges for like the clients depending on how much work it involves, but typically around like 750 to 750 on average to $1,000. Like I said, depends on the amount of work and things like that, but it's around like 750. Yeah.
Obviously we haven't ran any ads ourselves, so obviously even though you've given us the system of running ads, I don't really feel personally confident going into delivering a service to.
Yeah, and I think you can always white label the first month. Like we'll help you guys set it up. We'll help you. Hey, we'll run it, and then you after the first month, essentially you guys can just start managing it yourself. Since it's already built, you can kind of look in. Okay, this is pretty much very exactly similar to what the course teaches, and then it's really just a confidence thing. As you get more, as you see more of it, you just get used to it.
Yeah,
it's super simple. It's nothing like complicated at all.
You spoke about media buyers, and I know you also employ virtual assistants. What roles do they individually play? So what's the difference between a virtual assistant and the media buyer? I know my understanding is that the media buyer runs the ads, but what does
Yes.
that the virtual assistant do?
So I mean, a virtual assistant is just basically an assistant from, overseas or wherever, right? And virtual assistants are essentially like media buyers, but media buyers are just specifically people who run ads. So they're essentially the same thing, but virtual assistants could be anything, right? Virtual assistants could be, your code emailer, your customer support, it's just your virtual assistant. It's just a VA.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How do you deal with clients that may not be happy with the results?
Yeah, so that is a possibility that could happen from time to time. I mean, we've had very few of those, but it has happened. So how did you deal with clients who aren't happy? So essentially, what I did when I first started my agency was that I wanted to keep as many because it was hard for me to get new clients at the time of starting my agency, or we know that it can be challenging to get new clients. So whenever I had a client that just wasn't like satisfied or they wanted a refund or whatever it was, I normally tell them that, hey, I understand, whatever. Look, I'll give you a whole free month. I won't charge you management or anything like that. Just for you to stay on, right? And normally, like 90% of the time, they'll take your deal. They'll take on that extra free month from you, and then they stay on as a client with you. So I've done that like so many times. And then they just end up staying with you even longer because number one, it shows that you like care, you care about their business. Like, hey, it's all good. Like, I understand like things aren't working for you, but look, this is what we're going to do next. Here was the problem and here's the solution. Give it another try for a month. We won't charge you management fee. And most of the time they'll give it a chance. They'll give it a shot and they end up staying with you a lot longer.
My next question is, I'm pretty sure you don't have a website. You have just a landing page. I know my mom's starting her own business right now, and she's always pressing on me in terms of having a website, spending a bunch of money on a nice website. What's your opinion on that?
So I mean, it depends on what your goal is, right? So, if you're gonna get most of your clients through, a VCL, all you really need is a landing page. So a landing page is just more specific, right? And a landing page, essentially, a landing page is your website, pretty much, right? You can you can create a landing page, and if you're only targeting lawyers, there's no reason to have, multiple links, right? You can just put all the information that lawyer needs on one single page, and that's your landing page, right? But if you're going to be like a bigger agency where you're offering SEO, offering these multiple stuff, you're taking on multiple types of clients, then if you just want to give out general information, then yeah, I guess that's where a website would come in play. But even then, like, I like to have a landing page specifically for people, so that way we're not wasting anyone's time. And once they get onto that page, they get exactly what they're looking for. They don't gotta go look around, things like that, right? So, it doesn't hurt to have a website. It's really preference. I don't have a website. And actually, like, I thought about having a website for like my white labeling, right? Because for white labeling, not targeting a specific niche, right? We're just like, hey, this is what we do. We take on multiple types of clients, and I still fit all that into a landing page, essentially. Like, hey, this is what we do. And yeah, so pretty much you don't really need a website, but yeah, it's really preference.
That's really good, actually. It's really important. My next question was, I know you've been like dabbling with different types of client acquisition. I know I saw on your channel that you were even using Instagram recently. What have you found is your most popular or your most regular influx of clients coming from?
Yeah. I'd say organic, man. Organic, creating content and then having people come to you. So a majority of my my recent clients has been through my Facebook right? I created a whole separate Facebook that that I use right now on the regular. And I just post up content about, you know, how I have a Facebook group and stuff like that. I create YouTube content. Hey, these are my case studies. Hey, look what we've done. And people find me through there. So organic marketing is like the best way, just posting up content, getting your prospect to see it, right? Adding people, adding your ideal clients on Facebook as friends. That's worked out really well. And I'm trying to think here. And I personally, like I said, I personally don't run ads for myself, but one of my students, Diego, he's having a lot of success with Facebook ads. He actually built out his own system and things like that. And he hit his first 8K a month actually, so which is really cool. So if, you know, with Facebook ads, with ads in general, it's really depending on where your financial resources and your position is, to be able to run ads. But I don't really recommend it unless you have all your systems in place and you have the financial resources to run ads and things like that. But Facebook ad or running ads would be like probably the next one up. Goes organic and then paid ads, and then cold email, cold calling would be under that. But as far as like with me, what I'm having most success with is organic. People just coming to me, you know, just having getting referrals, creating content, and on Facebook and YouTube, and then just having my Facebook group and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to think about this a lot more because we have personal brands that we're building, and they're mainly focused on music and fashion and that sphere.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, with branding, you really need to have a solid, you know, focused brand. So having also a personal brand of based on SMMA, where we're, you know, these people that run an effective SMMA is going to conflict with that brand. So we're going to have to kind of think about this and find a way around it.
Yeah, definitely. So personal branding, I mean, you know, on YouTube, I'm known, like I create a lot of content about my digital marketing agency. So that's kind of like my branding. You know what I mean? As far as you guys have like branding with music or something. So, I mean, you can just start off by asking yourself like, hey, or I'm asking you, do you guys know any friends, family, friend of a friend that owns a local type of business that would be beneficial on Google? Because that's like a good place to always start, right? And just offer that person a discounted price. That way you can just get your feet wet, get some experience, and then figure out if you get good results for that niche. And if you do get good results for that niche, then you just found yourself a niche and you have case studies from you know, doing it for that person. So yeah, do you guys know anybody?
We've had a bunch of people that were up in the air, but no one that has the finances. Their businesses just don't generate that type of money from restaurants, high-end restaurants, but they just still don't. We've done work with them.
They don't want to pay like anything over like £200 for the ads, which is
£200 is about approximately like $300.
Oh, those are restaurants. Well, yeah, that's why you guys think about getting like other type of niches, you know, like doctors or something like that.
100%, yeah, definitely.
Lawyers and stuff. But even that's the case, it's, you know, it's totally fine. There's still a lot of other you know, types of businesses you guys can go after.
100%, yeah.
But it's just a matter of you know, getting out there, starting to talk to people, be out there, right? Whether it's through cold email, cold calling, whatever it is that you guys decide to do, just get out there, start generating some type of conversation with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%, yeah. How would you deal with the objection of being someone's first client, or should we not even disclose that information? Have case studies, I guess.
So telling somebody that they are your first client?
Yeah.
So are you like straight up telling them, or if they're asking you?
If they're asking, yeah, if they're asking.
I'm trying to think what I've done in the past. So if they ask me and they are my first type of client, then I would straight up just tell them that, hey, yeah, you guys are our first client, but we've, me and our team, we've still been able to manage X amount of dollars. So we know what we're doing as far as what we know what works and what doesn't, right? And the system stays the same for all different types of businesses.
Yeah.
Because Google Ads is still ran the same way and things like that, right? So we know how to do all that. So, I wouldn't just say, hey, you guys are my first client and that's it. What they're looking for is for like some type of validation to like, that's like their concern. Like, oh, do you guys know what you guys are doing? So, number one, yeah, I wouldn't suggest you guys lie to them. Just be straight up and honest. But then, hey, you guys are credible because you guys know how to do this thing. And it works the same way for everybody. For you, for a lawyer, for a chiropractor, it's the same system, the same process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I think you went over it in your course, but I just wanted to see now, what's your opinion on the most profitable niches that you found? Obviously, law firms is always up there, but do you have like a new list maybe?
Most profitable niches? I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you that just because like I don't work with a whole lot of different niches, right? Like my main thing is I work with a lot of lawyers, but I mean the money comes from money comes from client retention, honestly. So as far as like how much you can charge, like, yeah, you can find probably niches where you can charge them 5,000, 10,000. I've seen people, work with e-com and things like that.
Yeah.
But it works like the same way, right? Even with e-com, people, they charge a percentage. So if you want to talk about, what is the most profitable or, how you can charge more, then that's where percentage can start coming into play, right? So you charge a base price or whatever, and then you can charge a percentage of whatever their return is, or in my case, what I do is I charge a percentage of their ad spend, right? So that can start to add up. But as far as like what's the best niche that you can charge the most, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. It's just how you structure your pricing, I would say. And then at the end of the day, it's what you specialize in too, right? So if you are like the best, if you can get this restaurants that guaranteed you can grow their business, then you can charge a good amount for it, right? So you just gotta find something that you specialize in at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's great. I don't have any more questions. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I hopefully I was able to answer your guys' questions.
100%.
Cool. So, I want to give you guys some plan of action. I don't want to just be on here answering questions. I want to actually help you guys take the next step. So you have your VCO presentation in place. You know who you're trying to target. Right now, you guys are trying to figure out how to get out there, how to prospect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with that, it's just getting out there more, just getting started, and try to get out as much as possible. Try to get in front of people as much as possible. Try to start as many conversations as possible, right? And that's where the cold email software is coming into place. You can send out thousands of emails with best practices so you're not landing in spam. My buddy Dan, he does cold calling. So if you need help with cold calling, he can help you set up a cold calling system. He'll get you a virtual assistant and all that good stuff. And just start dialing, get people to start dialing the phones for you guys and talking to lawyers. My guy Diego, if you guys need somebody to run Facebook ads or set up some type of ad system for you guys reach out to me. I'll talk to him and we'll get a system running for you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. And then inside the course, there's already virtual assistants that are already trained in some of the stuff, right? So you can outsource some of that prospecting to those guys. And then like at the end of the day, just get a good volume, right? Start getting out there more, start interactions with prospects.
Well, yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely be in touch possibly about doing some white labeling with you in the future when we do get our first client, possibly.
Yeah, and
We're
I'm
not-
definitely happy to help you guys out. But
100%.
yeah, just get out there, and like I said, man, just it's really a numbers game. Just start talking to people, and then you'll get better at talking to people, and then from there start closing deals.
100% perfect.
All right, guys. So yeah, hopefully I was super helpful today, man. And I look forward to seeing you guys, take action, and feel free to reach out, till we connect again.
Definitely, yeah. We should have some clients by our next call.
That'd be awesome, bro. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
Best.
See you.
All right. Take care, guys.